The Midnight Gang by David Walliams and illustrated by Tony Ross. Chapter 44. Home. Shh, came a voice out of the gloom. A match was struck, and the unmistakable outline of the porter's face was lit up by a burst of light. Tom breathed a sigh of relief at seeing it was his friend. The porter lit a candle and the room flickered into view.
"What are you doing down here?"
demanded the boy. What are you doing down here? Demanded the boy.
"This is where I live," slurred the man. "It's my home."
And there's a picture of the porter lighting a candle. "But I thought you were sacked."
"I was, but I had nowhere else to go. Now what are you doing down here?"
"I'm hiding," replied the boy.
"Who from?"
"My headmaster, matron, an army of nurses, everyone really. My headmaster came to take me back to my boarding school, but I didn't want to go."
"Well, you can't stay down here forever," said the porter.
"No," replied the boy. He had run away without a plan and was beginning to realise he was in even deeper trouble for fleeing than he had been before. "So this is really your home?"
"Yes, Mr. Thomas, sir," replied the porter. "Look."
The man moved the candle around the room so the boy could see.
"I have everything I need right here."
The porter indicated a filthy-looking mattress lying on the floor in the corner.
"My bed. There is the cooker."
There was a tiny gas stove with a stack of tinned food next to it. And there it is. There's all his little gas stove there with all the tins of food around it.
"Wardrobe?"
The porter pointed to a large cardboard box that had some crumpled clothes hanging in it. "But why haven't you got a proper home?" asked the boy. The man sighed deeply.
"This hospital is my home. I've been here since I was a baby. Back then the doctors tried operation after operation on me."
"What for?"
"To try and make me look presentable. But none of them worked. I was a patient here for years and years. Then when I was getting too old for the children's ward, a job came up at the hospital and I took it. Just a simple job, moving things and people around. I was 16 then, and I've been here ever since."
"But if you had a job then, why didn't you find a place to live?"
"I tried. The doctors helped me find a tiny one-bedroom flat in a block not far from here. But the problem is that sometimes folk think you're frightening because you look frightening. I couldn't get any peace there. Locals would paint horrible words on my front door, put nasty letters through my postbox telling me to go. They said I was frightening the children. I was shouted at, spat on, had a vicious dog set on me."
And there's a picture of a dog snapping at the legs of the porter.
"One night, when I was asleep, a brick smashed through my window, so I came back here and hid. Nobody ever knew I was living down here. This is my home."
Tom's eyes glistened with tears. He felt sad, but guilty too. Just like so many other people, Tom had thought the worst of the porter, just for the way he looked. The boy stared around the porter's damp, dark room. It wasn't much, but it was a home. It was more than Tom had. With his parents living abroad and him being bundled off to a boarding school, the boy never had anywhere he could call home.
"It's not the Ritz Hotel, I know, but at least it was convenient for work."
The man chuckled to himself.
"But now I've lost my job, I don't know where to go."
"If I had a home, I'd invite you to stay."
"That's very kind of you."
"But I'm sad to say that I don't."
"They say home is where the heart is. Where is your heart, Tom?"
The boy thought for a moment before replying. "I suppose with the children on the ward and with Sally the most."
"Poor little lamb."
"She never got to have her dream come true."
"No." "What about your mum and dad?"
"What about them?"
"Is your heart not with them?"
"No," replied the boy quickly. "They don't care about me."
"I'm sure they both love you very much."
"I'm sure they don't. They never call. They never write. I hardly ever see them."
"I'm sure they're thinking about you."
Tom said nothing.
"Look at the two of us," remarked the porter. "A couple of lost souls, aren't we?"
"I'm so sorry that you lost your job here at the hospital," said Tom. "All of us on the children's ward were sorry. In fact, we had an argument over who was the most sorry."
Did you now? Well, don't you worry yourselves about little old me. I knew what a risk I was taking helping the Midnight Gang. It was worth getting sacked for.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'd do it all again, just to see the smiles on all your children's faces over the years.
But can't we just try and beg Spillers to give you your... Before the boy could say another word, the porter whispered, "Shh!" The man pointed to the door. Tom listened. There were footsteps outside, and the sound of metal doors being rattled.
It must be the search party.
They found me. Is there another way out?
No.
Oh, no.
We'll have to hide.
Where?
You conceal yourself in the cupboard, and I'll hide under the bed.
Tom climbed into the cardboard box, while the porter pulled the mattress over himself. "The candle!" hissed Tom. The porter blew it out just as the large metal door swung open. Clunk! The torchlight shone inside, moving slowly around the room. Tom didn't dare breathe as Matron and the headmaster stepped inside, an army of angry-looking nurses behind them. Come out, wherever you are," hissed Matron. End of chapter 44.